welcome to the Thanksgiving evening edition of the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video, Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope you and yours have had a fantastic holiday filled with good cheer and good food. We didn't have good weather necessarily today, but hey, we've had wetter, Thanksgivings. We've had colder Thanksgivings. We've had snowier Thanksgivings. Today was just kind of a ho-hum day. We've had the light rain throughout the afternoon. Hasn't amounted to much. As of early evening, rainfall totals have generally been under 1/10 of an inch, with a couple of exceptions. For the most part, though, everything has been pretty light today. Temperatures actually got a little bit warmer than I expected before the rain pushed in around midday. Got into the upper 40s in a lot of spots this afternoon. Look at that late traffic on a holiday at the usually busy intersection of 224 and Market Street in Boardman. This time-lapse starts around mid-morning, takes us into the afternoon. Clouds dominated for a while, and then, we had the raindrops falling for a lot of the afternoon hours, and this tapered into some spotty drizzle as we got a little bit closer to sunset this evening. I'm recording this a little before 6 p.m. this evening, and we still have some light rain and some drizzle around. Our cold front is still off to the north and west, and off to the north and west, we also have more light rain that'll push in later this evening. The temperature drop occurs, of course, behind our front, so you go from the mid-40s here locally to the 20s and 30s once you're out across Illinois, parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota. That's what's coming our way tomorrow. All right, up across the primary snow belts, so we do have winter weather advisories out for some of our nearby counties, such as Crawford County in northwest PA. This actually becomes a lake effect snow warning across Erie County, PA, and Chautauqua County in far southwestern New York. That's where the heaviest lake effect snow is expected overnight tonight, and especially during the course of Friday. Our transition from rain to flurries, pretty much, will occur after midnight tonight. So once we head towards 1:30, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we should start to see a few snowflakes flying. This isn't going to be much at first. The roads are going to be wet. Pavement temperatures, air temperatures are still going to be quite marginal, so I'm not expecting any problems for most of the overnight hours. Now, as we transition into the daylight hours tomorrow and the cold air becomes more entrenched, we can start seeing some reductions in visibility from time to time and some beefier snow showers trying to get into the mix here and there for our Friday. And wind chills tomorrow are going to be nasty. It's going to be just one of the more unpleasant days to be outside that we've had so far this season, with wind gusts of 30 to 35 miles per hour and air temperatures no better than freezing. Wind chills will be mostly in the teens for our Friday. This will be fairly disorganized lake effect for most of the region. The best organization will probably be downwind of Lake Huron, picking up some Lake Erie moisture, and then depositing into northwest PA, far southwest New York. For a lot of northeast Ohio, this is going to be pretty disorganized. It's going to come and go. Look for changeable conditions throughout the day. If you're going to be hitting the malls or traveling for any other reason during the course of Friday, just be prepared for reductions in visibility from time to time. Be prepared to shiver walking from the car into the stores with the kind of cold and wind that we do expect. Now, the most numerous snow showers and flurries will probably be in the morning and midday. We'll start to see a reduction in those as a little more dry air gets involved as we go into the late afternoon and into the evening hours on our Friday. I mentioned the bullseyes to our north and west. There's probably going to be 6+ inches from extreme northern Crawford County up into Erie County, up into southwestern New York as well. And that's where there will be some big-time travel headaches along I-90. Anyone traveling between Cleveland and Buffalo will not have a fun time of it on Friday and into Friday night. Here in our TV viewing area, amounts should be generally an inch or less for much of the area, with a few exceptions. I think we could see up to a couple of inches once you're off to the north. So we're talking about some of the usual suspects when we talk about this kind of a lake effect setup. So Mesopotamia, Bloomfield, heading over towards Kinsman, that 287 corridor that runs kind of due east-west in northern Trumbull County. Also the 358 corridor in northern Mercer County. Greenville to Sandy Creek, New Lebanon, maybe even as far south as Cool Spring and Mercer and Jackson Center, places like that. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those places end up with a couple of inches. But certainly your chances of seeing more than an inch decrease the farther south you are in our area. Once we get done with the lake effect then tomorrow night, we're kind of in a break on Saturday. Clouds will thicken up throughout the day. It's a pretty potent little system coming our way Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Now, our in-house model here I don't think is handling the kind of the thermal structure of the atmosphere all that well as the precipitation gets going. In other words, I think it has too much rain displayed here at about 10 o'clock Saturday evening. I think this will be mostly light snow that pushes in between, say, 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Saturday evening. Then it continues for a lot of the night. Now, could there be some mixed precipitation here and there, especially, say, south of Route 30 down into Columbiana County? Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think there's as much rain as the model is showing here. It's going to be mostly light snow that then tapers off Sunday morning, and this might taper off into kind of a mix of flurries and drizzle and snizzle, I like to call it sometimes. A little light snow, a little drizzle, no big deal. The biggest impacts Sunday will be early in the day on the roads, and then perhaps later in the day, as well as after an afternoon lull where it's going to be above freezing and everything will just be damp. We could see a reemergence of snow shower activity Sunday evening, leading to some nuisances out there across parts of eastern Ohio and western PA. So watch out early in the morning Sunday, and then late in the evening into the overnight Sunday night into Monday morning. As far as snowfall amounts with our weekend system, again, this isn't the lake effect tomorrow, but the Saturday night into Sunday morning deal. Here's a look at our computer model spread. All of our models are kind of displaying 1 to 3 inches, basically, for most of our area. The reason why the NAM here kind of does a nosedive like that, the NAM only runs out through late Sunday night. We don't have data for Monday. That's why the line kind of nosedives like that. So just ignore that. But you see all the lines kind of stop generally between 1 and 3. So no surprise. This is what our forecast is as far as the most likely accumulation Saturday night into Sunday morning. I think a lot of us are going to see between 1 and 3 inches. If you were heading off to services or doing something else Sunday morning, you may have some slick travel to contend with. Additional accumulations then with late day snow showers, late Sunday into Sunday night. Those should be pretty minor. I think mostly an inch or less with that. The main deal will be kind of this general snowfall Saturday night and into Sunday morning. As we roll forward into next week, it's going to be a cold start to the week. But as we get towards the second half of the week, even early in the week, we're not looking at a steep northwest flow across our region. This is mostly Pacific air that's coming across the country. It's just not that cold. Chill in the air, sure, but by late November standards, yeah, it's not that bad. And late in the week, I think we've got a couple of mild days heading our way by Thursday and into Friday, perhaps next Saturday, that first Saturday in December. This is a flow dominated by the Pacific air. And so all the cold stays up here, and we've got a shot maybe at a 50-degree day or two late next week and early on next weekend. Before we leave you this evening, I wanted to touch just briefly on some of the longer-range data. We got a fresh run of the European weeklies in this evening, and boy, I think we're going to have to start shifting gears with the December forecast. If you remember our forecast, most forecasts for the winter season started with a high probability of a pretty cold December compared to the averages. That's what happened in a lot of our analog years. A lot of the modeling was showing that before. As we get a little bit closer, though, the modeling just doesn't look that impressive for cold. This is tonight's run of the European weeklies, mid-December. Look at this. I mean, this is not a cold pattern. You've got all the cold up into Alaska, Western Canada, even parts of the west coast of the U.S. during mid-December. And if that's the case, it's just going to have a hard time sticking farther to the east. So all the way through mid-December, it just doesn't look particularly cold on some of the latest model data, including the European here. Late in the month, maybe it finally changes at the last minute. This would kind of resemble December of 2017. That was one of our analog years, 2017, 2018, where we got slammed with a harsh cold snap at the very end of December and early in January. That was the European model. Real quickly, the GFS, again, not very impressive. Through mid-December, you don't see much blue east of the Rockies. Maybe at the last minute, late December, we start to turn cold. This is the Canadian long-range model. Again, same idea. It's a little colder than the other two, but not very cold at all. Most of the anomalies, the cold anomalies, are out west through mid-December. And then finally, the climate forecast system, the CFS. It's the coldest of the bunch. It has it pretty mild in early December, but then as early as mid-month, it starts to introduce some colder weather in the eastern U.S., and then it turns very cold at the end of December and early in January. All of the modeling is trying to show some sort of cold compared to average at the end of December, but we're looking more and more it looks more and more, I should say, like the first at least couple weeks of December will not be very cold. So you're going to see an update to our winter forecast coming up in early December, that first Monday of the month, so coming up in less than 2 weeks. Until then, look for more updates on the longer range here on Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for sticking with me on this long video on this Thanksgiving evening. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you back here on Friday.